Hello, welcome back. This is Mike from Canavan Wealth doing Mike Reads the Journal. It's Tuesday, January 24th. Let's just jump right into it. S&P 500 is kind of flat, up about 0.5%. If we look at it here, we did dip down for a couple of days, but then kind of came raging back just in time for me to cover it as about flat, up about 0.5%. I think this is pretty good news after the two previous weeks in which we've been doing very, very well. For the month here, what are we? 4.5% since a month ago. Good news. All right, let's first story here. This has been an ongoing news story. The Journal just did kind of a mega recap of it all about these projects that China has financed kind of all over the world, especially in Latin America and Africa, kind of developing nations. China has been going in and building a lot of hydroelectric power, as well as some like housing projects. And they're not only the construction, but often the lender for the projects, which has, a lot of kind of international entities concerned because of the conflict of interest there. The projects have not been going well. This is, of course, not an exhaustive list of every single project in the entire world, but a lot of these dams that have been built are causing all sorts of problems or are way behind schedule, over budget, and then all sorts of cracks in various things. So this is certainly not to say that other entities building dams don't run into problems, but this has been kind of a big issue, specifically with the problems also that China has, kind of been facing. Their economy's been slowing down. This one particular one, I believe this was down in Ecuador. They're getting all these erosion problems that's effectively destroyed this entire kind of area. It certainly also talks about some positives that this article has, or these projects have been, talking. It talks specifically about this woman who was able to, the work there was meaningful for her and allowed her to get out of, improve her situation. Here's more of this erosion. So this has been a big problem that's been going on. Obviously, the U.S., who's pretty much a direct adversary of China, has been very vocal about what this is. One of the reasons China is doing this is to expand their influence into places like Latin America and Africa and try and displace the U.S. as kind of the leader of that area. This is going to be ongoing for a while. It'll see how the fallout for this is. My hope is that these countries that have, put their money and time and resources into these will not, they'll see some positive results of this. This next one is very interesting. This is Amazon unveils a generic prescription drug plan. So it's effectively $5 a month, and you can get, it's a number, I don't think they give it, 80 common conditions. I guess they've been doing prescription medicines since 2020. They also have some telehealth stuff that's been going on. Amazon branching out yet again into other areas is going to be interesting to see how this goes. I see this as both a positive and a little bit of concerning. It's good to see the healthcare industry getting shook up and, things that can disrupt that and hopefully, be more competitive. However, if you watch every science fiction about dystopian future, it's typically corporations that have displaced governments. And I think I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but we're starting to get into the realm in which companies like Amazon, Facebook, and other institutions are definitely getting to a place where they are starting to have government-like impact on your life. When they start controlling things like healthcare, I'm no fan of Trump. People will eventually figure that out, and I'll just tell you now. However, it was concerning to me when his voice was silenced. The voice and what it was saying, I certainly drew question, had problems with. However, it was scary to me that the U.S. president could be silenced in such a major way when he was removed from Facebook and Twitter. So, double-edged sword in terms of the impact that countries have. I'm sure I'm going to do a thinking differently about this idea, so I'm going to kind of leave that for then. But this is interesting to see Amazon rolling out a prescription drug plan. This was one about talking, over the last year, we've seen a lot of inflation but we've also seen a lot of wage growth, and kind of where did that fall out? Earnings rose 7.4% last year. Inflation, if you average it out, was probably somewhere around there. But this is talking about, specifically three groups that saw employment closer to 11 and 10%, which is pretty substantially different, right? That's 50% more growth than inflation or what the other sectors saw. Those groups, Black workers, young people, and low wage earners. This is obviously a big, diverse group, but historically it has, in kind of been a subset of these groups. So this is good for the economy. This low wage earners, and which often includes young people as well, they typically spend their money back in their community, which is a lot different than some other groups, right? When high earners get wage increases, that money doesn't often go back into their community or necessarily even into their country. They travel, they order luxury products and things like that. But these groups tend to spend their money right back into the economy, which is very good for the economy, so that money, that velocity of money kind of churns the economy. So if there is a group that we wanted to do better during this most recent downturn, it was definitely these groups that were most likely the ones that were, overly impacted by it as well, which, when inflation this year specifically hit food and gas, and that's, things that these communities are spending their money on. So, good news here. And that is really it for Mike Reads the Journal today. Hope you guys found it interesting. I think I figured out a way to link free, these articles to like a free link that you can read. The Wall Street Journal is a paid, unfortunately, subscription, but I'm going to try and post those links. I'll see how many of them I can get. I don't know if they limit me to the number that I can download, but those will be in the link. And I hope you've had a good day, and I will talk to you soon.